Welcome back, everyone. I am super excited for this episode. I am joined today by Fonz De Falco. We are both on Review and Preview. He does Four Corners as well as his own show, the SlickBack KickBack Report. Fonz, thanks so much for coming on today.
I will say it's an honor to be on this show, The Girl Talk Sports. We're looking forward to it. When you hit me up a couple weeks ago, couldn't get to it the first time. I'm like, you know what? I got to make sure my Mondays are clear for this. I'm here. I'm excited for it. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this.
Yeah, so am I. And we have a lot of things to go over. NFL Week 10 was kind of wild. And I actually didn't know you were at the Jets-Bills game. I was at the Jets-Bills game.
Yeah.
Like, coincidence, we did not even plan that. But before we get into it, what was your experience like at MetLife?
The first time I was there this was the first time in like 2 years, because like obviously I'm being a Raiders fan, I don't go to a lot of Jets and Giants games, and my girlfriend who's getting into football is a Bills fan now, so I'm like, you know what, they play the Jets, let's go down there. Tickets weren't that bad. I thought it was fun. I had a lot of fun. The only thing is I missed the entire second quarter because the beer line was really long.
So I heard.
Yeah, but like the lady, after every order, she took a notebook out and like did the inventory. And I saw like, for not just her, but like a bunch of people like in my section. I'm like, can you just have two people for each set? Why are you even doing that now? It's like not even necessary. So I missed, I come back and like, my girlfriend's like, where did you go? I'm like, I was online getting just 2 beers. I was like, let me just see if I can get more, just because I didn't want to wait in line again.
Right.
And, like only 2 per person. I'm like, I'm not coming back now. So that was the only bad thing. But other than that, though, the game itself was fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's same exact thing. I was with my boyfriend. My boyfriend went off to get beer, but it was third quarter when they stopped serving it.
Oh, yeah.
And I had no idea where he was. I didn't see him for like 45 minutes. And I was like,
no, that's all.
Well, he'll come back at some point. And he came back and he was like, they just stopped serving beer.
Yeah, and for me, like I had my girlfriend's phone in her pocket. Like I had her phone in my pocket because like we were like whatever, and I was like gonna text her, and then the phone's ringing in my pocket. I'm like, oh, I forgot I have her phone, but I didn't want to go over to her because I'm already in line. It's like, all right, well, I gotta get ready for my apology. I don't want her to think I just left the stadium.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy, and the fact that there were more Bills fans there than there were Jets fans was crazy. Like I didn't even feel like I was in New Jersey. I felt like I was in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, no, I'm used to seeing, because I went to school with a bunch of Bills fans, so like I'm used to like all like the Bills, Jets games or whatever. It was like the first time I'm like, wow, like it felt like I was at like the Bills stadium, like you said. I saw a couple of tailgates of Jets buses, but a lot of Bills jerseys. So I fit right in because I was wearing a Bills jersey. So I felt comfortable being in there.
Same. I was repping the Bills. I was not going for the Jets in this game, and we're going to talk about the Jets in this show. But before we do that, let's start from the beginning of Week 10 and go to Thursday Night Football, which you are a Ravens fan, and the Ravens played Thursday night. You know, what are your feelings on this game? Because me, I have Lamar as my fantasy quarterback, so I was also pretty much like, come on, guys. But what were your thoughts as a fan throughout this game?
Well, like you, I also had Lamar on one of my fantasy teams. So, and then I've had the both of it. So that's why I was like, you know what? Never draft your favorite team's players in fantasy. That's feel like a rule I should keep following.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be a, easy win. Maybe not blowout, maybe like touchdown or 2. Because I mean, no disrespect, but it's the Dolphins. They've been playing like so bad, inconsistent quarterback play and defense. But I don't know what happened. Starting on the offense for the Ravens, Lamar can't do it all by himself. The running game was just non-existent. The receivers kept dropping everything. And then you go to the defense. This game showed me also that they really miss Marcus Peters, who has led the team in turnovers since he got traded there.
Right.
Like from interceptions to even like forcing fumbles, like it's no turnovers. I don't even think they had one against Miami, if I'm not mistaken. You thought they would have 1 or 2 against, like, if they 2 was the quarterback or Brissett. So they're just kind of embarrassing though, because like the Ravens are favorites, one of to make the playoffs, Super Bowl run. And you think, all right, you can get an easy win against the Dolphins. And then no, it's just inconsistent from the offense all around. Defense just looks like a mess. And the injuries are starting to really now take notice now. No Dobbins, Edwards. Now the running game looks bad. Like I said, with Peters, even Deshaun Elliott in the secondary. Like, so it was just bad all around. nothing could get going. It's just people are saying with like Greg Roman. I keep like rambling on about the offense, but it was just like the play calling, like bubble screens on third down. Why, like on 3rd and 10, like you have Hollywood Brown do a go route up the middle. You have Andrews do an in route, like a slant or something. Don't do these bubble screens to like Watkins or whatever. Like do them on 1st or 2nd down. Don't do them on 3rd down when you're down by a touchdown and a half. It's just really bad play calling on offense and defense. They just kept giving up everything. So
yeah, and it kind of seemed like I feel like whenever Lamar isn't playing the best, the team just does not perform. And I feel like there was even times when Lamar was trying to make plays happen and they were just not catching the ball or just ran the route wrong. Like it was just like so many things were going wrong, even on the defensive side. I know there would have been a turnover, but I forgot who it was. Dropped the ball, couldn't catch it. Like it was just something was off with this. And like you said, Miami respectfully isn't the best team this year. I was expecting the Ravens to run away with this, and it just didn't happen. I mean, the first quarter was like, what is even going on? It was what, 9-6 or 6-3. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like this is the game we're gonna have. You know, the few times I can watch the Ravens play where I am, this is the quarter we're gonna have it now.
Right.
But and like you said that too, like Lamar, he trying to make things, and Marquise Brown dropped a couple of balls to which he looked really good throughout the season. But this is one of those games where it's like, oh no, like is he gonna go back to his form of like struggling, But yeah, but the thing is, it's gonna go back to Lamar. The hate's gonna go back on him, or like the blame is gonna be on him. He's the quarterback. I can't entirely blame him for this entire thing. I go back to really more the play calling and receivers, running game, and defense. You can put a little blame, but you're gonna see a lot of the fans of other teams being like, oh yeah, Lamar sucks and all that stuff. You're gonna get all that. So I mean, it's expected now at this point.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on like the division as a whole now? Do you think, because I mean, it's possible the Ravens can still take it, but this is a super tight division now. Like, you feeling like they're still able to get through that? Do you think that, even the Steelers might come up and do something? Like, what are your thoughts on the division?
Well, after that game, I was like, Bengals on a bye. Steelers could get a win against Detroit, and we'll get to that too. Right. And the Browns, they might pick up a win against the Patriots, and we'll probably talk about that too. I guess it all worked in the favor because you got the tie, and then you got the Browns losing badly. Yeah. It's going to be a tight race. I mean, I'm still always going to worry about Pittsburgh because they always give the Ravens problems. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be one of the toughest divisions in football, I think, too. As far as like, do we think that the Ravens have a good shot? I still think so. I think it's the Bears. They're playing the Bears next. They got to go with the Steelers, I think, twice. I got to double check the exact schedule, but I still think they have a very good shot because of like ups and downs from all the teams too. Because you're not going to know what you're going to expect from the Browns and the Bengals and Steelers too. I mean, if Ben's still out with COVID, even when he is playing, like, he's not what he used to be, So the division can go anywhere, but I think I'm confident the Ravens can go forward after this tough loss.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, the Ravens do kind of go up and down. Like, they have their great weeks. And then, I mean, like that week that Lamar put up like 40 points in fantasy, Mark Andrews put up 40 points. Like, it was like incredible. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's down, and then it's an up, and then it's a down. So, I mean, with their playoff history as well, obviously there's more downs than ups there, but I feel like the Ravens still have something going. I think they just have to figure out
a little bit,
play calling.
Yeah, I'm so looking at. I saw the schedule today of Bears and the Browns, Steelers, Browns, Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers. So it's gonna be tough. Yeah, closing out the season with all those division games. I just realized too at the end, and then the Packers and Rams. So it is going to be a little bit tough, but I'm still confident, with like Harbaugh coaching and Lamar, whatever. You got to think about how they're going to do the passing call with Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator.
Absolutely. Well, let's segue into the Steelers Lions then, since we're on the subject. Ended in a tie. I saw a tweet that said if you watch Steelers Lions, you are entitled to financial compensation. And to be quite honest, I would 100% agree with that. As a whole, I mean, Ben was out, Mason Rudolph was in. I feel like it was a pretty back and forth game. The Steelers' run defense just does not exist, basically. I mean, the Lions ran all over them, but it ended in a tie. So our first tie of the year. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? It of course would be the if he had to pick two teams, I wouldn't be shocked. It would have been like Steelers Lions, but yeah, I can see that ending in a tie.
Right.
Happy for me because I hate the Steelers, so like it's good that they get the tie, I guess. But I do have a soft spot for Dan Campbell. I like him. I did a podcast episode just talking about him the whole time. I was like, this guy's like I want them to win the next like 20 Super Bowls. I'm like, I fell for him. Like, oh damn, like he needs that first win.
Yeah.
With that tie, I mean, at least we didn't go to that game. At least we didn't go to that Lions Steelers tie, because I don't know how like you walk out of that stadium like you like happy or sad. It's just like well, it's all money wasted just watching a tie. But yeah, it's like you always get one tie, right? It's like one tie every single year, and here we go. We got this one right here. So of course,
I know
Lions Steelers.
I'm pretty sure Najee Harris came out and said that he didn't even know ties existed in the NFL, which is like so funny to me because they absolutely should not exist. Like I have gone on tangents about this like in the past. My whole thing is that I think there should be penalty field goals. Like just start kicking the ball from like different parts of the field. Whoever makes the most, you win the game. Like if that's what it comes down to, because I hate the fact that it ends in ties. And like I feel like for your division now, for sure that tie is going to mess somebody up.
Oh, it's going to mean, yeah. Oh God, it's going to help, or it's going to ruin it. But yeah, like the field goal thing for the ties, that's interesting. I thought we saw going back to like college football, start like with 10, then go back to like 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, keep ties just in soccer and sometimes hockey. Just do that, because they're acceptable in those sports. Football, I don't know. You got to find a way to change it, because basketball, you can keep going. You can go into like 10 overtimes. Baseball, you can go to like 30 innings. Football, I mean, or just do it straight up, just like, all right, 10-minute overtime, score as many points as you can. And if that doesn't happen, we'll go 5-minute overtime. And then if that doesn't work, maybe we'll do your kicking idea.
At that point,
someone's got to win. That's what it's got to be. Someone's got to win at this point.
I know. I despise ties. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I mean, the Lions did not look bad. And I feel like that's something I've said over the past few weeks. Like, there have been times where the Lions look atrocious, but also like that first week, like week 1, we were like, oh my God, the Lions are like actually not as bad as we thought they were. But do you think like the Lions will ever win a game this year? I don't know what their schedule looks like, but
I'm looking at it now. They got to win one, right? They have to. I can't see them going. Right. Was it now 0-17, because it's 18 games now, 0-17-1. I mean, so they got the Browns, Bears, Vikings, Broncos, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks, Packers. You know what? They could beat the Bears or the Browns or the Broncos. They have some shots. I think they can win one. I legitimately think they can win one game. It might be a cold take at the end of the season. You want to go back and play this, but I think they have a shot to win one single game. And I think it just shows that Jared Goff is just, I never understood the hype around Goff as like a good quarterback. He was okay for the Rams, but when you have like Woods at the time, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, a good offensive line, Todd Gurley, a great defense, you're going to be like a solid quarterback or whatever. But it just shows again that he's really not that good of a quarterback. I think the Lions are going to now have to find a new signal caller.
Yeah.
I don't think you can roll out Jared Goff for another season. I don't think you can do that.
No, we're literally seeing Stafford in his place with, I mean, they are getting a lot more people.
Well, now they are, now they are.
But like throughout the year, we're like, wow, Stafford has been with this Lions team, which has been awful. And all of a sudden he comes to a new team and he's thriving. And I think that's what they thought Jared Goff was going to be. And yes, they did go to a Super Bowl, but I'm convinced that McVay brought them to that Super Bowl. Like it had nothing to do with Jared Goff.
For sure. And like a Gurley, they had like the 3 receiver core of like 1,000-yard receivers, great offensive line, Darren Donald. They had a very good, and I think it was Talib and Peters as their corners. Like they had a very good, it wasn't Goff. He just happened to be the signal caller for them. So yeah, I have to agree with you. It was more McVay and like everybody else and not Jared Goff. He's just not, I don't think he's the guy. That's for me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, I feel bad. The Lions, they're trying so hard. It's not working out for them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll see. I hope they get a win though, just for the sake of my favorite coach, Dan Campbell. Just for the sake of it, I want to see that one win press conference. It's funny, he went from biting kneecaps and now crying on the podium. I feel so bad for him, but I think he needs to get that win. He needs that one win, and I'll feel better if he did. And this is coming from a Ravens fan too, which is very weird to say. I'm rooting for him, no doubt about it.
I know that he has a plaque on his office, like in the building, and it says "the dude" underneath it. Like it's like Dan Campbell, coach, the dude, and you're like, how can you not root for him?
That's why I want them to win the next Super Bowls. If the Ravens can't make it, then that's my team that I might just become. This might just be me coming out as a Lions fan now. But like, you know what? I'm a Lions fan now. I have to say, just because of Dan Campbell. Until he gets, I hope he doesn't get fired. He can go winless for the next 3 seasons, and he's still going to be the coach in my eyes.
Yeah,
he needs to win. I just feel so bad. It's a lot of Lions talk. I feel like so far, more than the Ravens talk.
I know. We're sitting here talking about how we want the Lions to win. But let's go on. Let's go on to this Jets Bills game that we were present for. And obviously everyone put Mike White on this pedestal. Like even I was running around going like, wow, Mike White. I was so stoked for this game to like see Mike White in person. 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. I mean, I think he had like a 54% completion record in this game. Did not look good. Do you think there is still a quarterback controversy in New York?
I mean, listen, that 1 week was good. I rooted for it because it was the Bengals. I thought it was really cool to see that. I don't think there's a controversy. I don't think so. I mean, you drafted Wilson that high for a reason. Say Mike White did have a couple of good games. What are you going to have your second overall pick as his backup for the future, where Mike White literally was a journeyman quarterback beforehand? I never thought there was a contract. I thought it was like just a nice like spark for the Jets for a franchise like New York. I don't think there's going to be. I think when Wilson comes back, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to start winning or whatever, but I never thought there was a contract. I think it was just a nice little like spark that the Jets needed. So
yeah, I mean, I think that because Jets fans are like they're desperate, right? They're desperate for like anything, and Mike White being like that light for them was like, wow, like we got him, he's here, and like all this thing, and like Wilson obviously hasn't performed like to I think the overall pick in the like I really haven't seen anything excellent out of Zach. Zach
I agree.
So, but I would have to say, put in Zach Wilson as soon as possible. Like the second he's ready to go. Do not play Mike White. I mean, you're very familiar with Joe Flacco. If you want to toss Joe Flacco into the mix, I'd be okay with that.
Flacco, I was able to see a little bit of Flacco. Listen, I loved it. I love seeing Flacco back out there. I'm not saying start him, but maybe if you had the choice over if Wilson can't play, maybe try Flacco out for. I mean, they traded a 6th-round pick for him to bring him back, so you might as well throw him out there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's really like New York has just always been in shambles. And to be fair, I'm a Giants fan. Like we're in shambles too for a lot of it, but the Jets have been years and years.
Well, the Jets it's been consistent. It's inconsistent or consistently inconsistent, if that's the right word. If I'm trying to word it right, at least the Giants have had some high spots here and there. The Jets have always been like this, except the 1 or 2 AFC championship games and just nothing after that.
And that was like Mark Sanchez in his prime and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I would say Robert Saleh's got to figure out this QB situation. Like Mike White, yes, okay, backup. Zach Wilson, first of all, he's got to like figure out how to play in the league. Like he's only played a few games. Like I would say, as soon as possible, put Zach Wilson in. He needs the reps. He needs to learn. If you have Joe Flacco on the team too, he can learn from him. He's a solid mentor. Yeah, I think that New York has got to really figure that out, but Mike White doesn't seem to be the answer anymore.
And at least with the Jets, I mean, they have. I think Michael Carter could be a very good back in the league. I think he's definitely really good. I like Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Crowder's not a bad slot guy. And I feel like I'm missing one other receiver that they have too. But they have Denzel Mims doesn't play anymore, but he was like their 2nd-round pick. But they have pretty decent skill players and like running backs and receivers. Like they're not terrible. Like you can do something out of it. I'm not saying playoffs and long championship run, but you can get a couple of wins here and there too. Just need to have that consistent quarterback play.
Yeah, definitely. But like when we were at this game, I was like waiting for Mike White to like just go off. I mean, there was like a bunch of Jets fans behind me and they were screaming. They were like, just put in Flacco, put him in, take him out. It was like end of the 1st quarter. And I was just like, oh my God, like they're just over it. They're so over it. And I feel for them. I do. My dad grew up a Jets fan. Like he's like been in pain for years and years and years. So but no quarterback controversy. I mean, the thing was that when he threw for 400 yards, everybody was like quarterback controversy. And you're like, oh my God, it was one game. I mean, yes.
Yeah, I didn't think it, but I'm like, oh, cool moment. I don't think it's going to be a controversy. He needs to see how he does against the Colts. And he did okay before he got hurt. And I'm like, all right, let me see if he could do it against the Bills defense. And not even close. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I knew there wasn't going to be any controversy.
Yeah. And I mean, Josh Allen came out in this game and just balled out. I mean, he was just making incredible plays. There was no mercy towards the end of the game. They just put up what it was like 45 points.
Yeah.
The Bills, I think once they get that loss, they go on like a tear. Like they get one loss and it's just bad for everyone else.
2 weeks. Crazy 2 weeks what they can do. They literally went from getting only 6 points against Jacksonville to scoring close to 50 against the Jets, too. Two pretty bad teams, two completely different outcomes for them. So yeah, they needed that one bad loss to a team like Jacksonville. So then now everything's clicking at the right time.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think the Bills are still in this Super Bowl run? Because some people were thinking after the Jacksonville game, they were like, this isn't the team we were expecting. But after this game, you're like, what? Like they're so up and down as well. Do you think that they're still in the run for the Super Bowl?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I would think so. I mean, Josh Allen's been really great for them. Stephon Diggs, like I said, if Allen could get a legitimate number one target, it would elevate his game. And they traded for Diggs last year, and it's been helping him out so much. Their defense, obviously, the secondary is incredible. Yeah. The front seven's very good. The only thing I would say is their running game can be a little bit inconsistent because sometimes Josh Allen's your leading rusher, which, again, I can't even speak because Lamar's leading rusher for every game too. But it can hurt at the end of the day too, because like, what is it? Zach Moss, who I like, and Devin Singletary, they need to step up a little bit more, I would say, in the running. The only thing I would say is the running game is a little bit of a question because sometimes you don't want your quarterback to lead the team in rushing every single week. And that's coming from me, a guy with Lamar Jackson, where I worry about it sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine. I feel like, I mean, Daniel Jones is my quarterback. He takes off sometimes, and I have like a panic attack because he's just a big, tall.
I love that. I love when Daniel Jones takes off. It's funny. I'm not even gonna lie. It's great.
It gives me a heart attack every time because I'm like, oh my God, he's like this giant green bean that's just taking off down the field. At any moment, someone could just slice him in half. He just breaks, and I'm just like, it makes me so nervous. I mean, Josh Allen is much bigger than Daniel Jones in terms of just like, you know, just muscle. But I mean, I can only imagine how you feel with Lamar running around all over the place and having injuries that like Cam Newton has gone through. Like the fact that Lamar hasn't been severely hurt yet is like pretty incredible.
Knocking on wood. I'm so happy. Like I really like because I seen literally Dobbins, Edwards, ACLs, and I was like, oh my God, like it can happen to any of them because I thought coming into the season, Dobbins and Edwards was like, all right, that's gonna be like a sick duo to like with Lamar in the backfield too. So. At least he's very cautious with the two. He runs to the sidelines. He slides at the right time. Like he's very good like that. But, you know, sometimes I do worry about it because, you know, if you a second late, you could have a changing like injury that can change your career.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a solid segue into Chase Young, who we've just found out today has torn his ACL and probably one of the biggest losses for this Washington, not even defense, just team in general. So what are your thoughts on what you think Washington is going to end up doing? Because he's out for the year. Fitzpatrick, I mean, we haven't even been talking about him at all, but he's officially been dubbed out for the year. So it's officially Heineke in there forever. Washington, I was afraid of them at the beginning of this year, and now I haven't even given them a second thought since the season has started. But with a loss with Chase Young, do you think Washington has any sort of leverage at all? Or, I mean, it's just over?
I really think listen, Chase Young, that whole defense is very good to begin with, but I think when you had Heineke as your quarterback, I didn't think of them as like a legitimate, like, oh, they're going to take the division, make a playoff run or whatever, because I never saw with Heineke that he can be like the guy. I mean, you need to have a little better. And I thought Fitzpatrick would have somewhat helped when you have a good defense, but now he's gone. Heineke, he's had his moments, his ups and downs. And now when you lose your star pass rusher and Chase Young, that crushes your entire defense. And I think, you know, I don't think they'll they might make the playoffs. That really bad division. No offense to your Giants, but
totally fine. I'm on the same boat.
It's gonna be tough now. I mean, that definitely hurt. That sucks for them, because I think it's the guy everybody roots for Washington. But I think they're gonna have to rebuild. They're probably already doing that now. They gotta find a quarterback. I think. I was shocked they didn't try to go for Cam Newton. At least I thought they could have, because of Ron Rivera or something, like, because I think Cam would have brought that spark for the offense. I'm not saying, like, to take them 0 to 100, but they could have etched out some wins here, and it could have made them exciting to watch too. And Ron worked great with Cam, and Cam worked well with Ron. So I thought it was a good match there, but obviously that's not the case now. But yeah, I think Washington has to find a new quarterback and kind of rebuild from there too. I mean, they have some good building blocks like Terry McLaurin and Chase Young when he comes back, but they got a lot of other things to work on too. And that includes also finding a new name too, instead of just calling the Washington football team.
I know, it's like, a part of me wants them to keep it. Like, a part of me wants to be like, just stay the Washington, like, embrace it. But the other side of me is like, every time I see WFT, I mean, I think WTF all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think soccer can do the city names, like the city, like New York FC and like Washington, like DC, whatever, DC Football Club. I don't know if it works for the NFL unless all the NFL teams go like to Baltimore football, New York football, or like, like they got to think of, I mean, they've had 2 years now. They got to have something. Now you have your list of 8, I think there's like 8 finalists or something. You got to pick one out of them now at this point. You got to do it.
They're running around with no name. They got like their team is just falling apart. And you mentioned Cam, and I thought Cam was also going to end up at Washington back when he was released by the Patriots. And it kind of surprised me when they didn't pick him up. But now he's been floating around the league. He's now been picked up by the Panthers, and the Panthers came out in this game against the Cardinals, which, granted, they didn't have Kyler, they didn't have D-Hop, and they didn't have Colt McCoy, who was a solid backup for them in the quarterback position. But Cam came out, and he didn't play the entire game, but scored a touchdown, seemed to be very comfortable being back. What were your thoughts on the Cam Newton return?
I've always liked Cam Newton. I was actually shocked when the Patriots cut him, and I was kind of shocked it took him up to week 10 to sign with the roster. I thought he was, obviously once he was the MVP season, I'm like, he could definitely still give you a couple of games here and there. So I was very happy to see him back in Carolina. It was funny because, like, I think I saw a tweet or something. It was like, David Tepper is paying for Cam Newton's backup, Bridgewater, who's also paying for Bridgewater's backup, Sam Darnold, while also signing Darnold's backup. So it's like a whole bunch of things too. So it all comes full circle. But I think it's a perfect match. Fans were so happy. I saw like Cam back. He's happy to be back. He looked very comfortable. Like he looked like he never left. When even on the sidelines, I saw him like talking to all the players. It literally felt to me like he never left. Like he just was like on IR for the whole year and was still with the team. So it felt really good to see that. And I'm actually very happy he's back. And it's good for the Panthers now too. I mean, if they want that spark, it could help them out a little bit too. I mean, I don't know about winning the division, but I mean, definitely second place with New Orleans not having a quarterback now. So definitely helps them out. The good timing, I would say.
Yeah. And after, Darnold, everyone was all on Darnold up until like week 4. And then he kind of went off. And when the Giants beat them, I mean, I was like, I'm cool with this. This is good for me. But for Panthers fans, they were like, well, is this the Darnold from the Jets or what's going on here? But with Cam there, yeah, they seem to be doing well. But with the Cardinals, honestly, I was expecting them to kind of be a little shaky without Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins there last week. But Colt McCoy, who he was a backup for the Giants, he won the Seahawks game for us last year, which was like, he's just a very good backup quarterback. And the fact that he was able to come in last week and win for them, with even him out, the Cardinals did not look good. So my question for you is, do you think that without Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins and even Colt McCoy, and we can throw him into the mix, are the Cardinals still a solid team even without them there? Or like, I mean, they pretty much fell apart this week.
Yeah, no, that just shows right there when you don't have your top quarterback, Kyler Murray, one of the better players, Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league. And also, I mean, you can also include J.J. Watt, leader of that defense opposite Chandler Jones. They need those guys, and mainly the first two. And, the Cole McCoy is the backup for the reason. He's had some good moments here and there, but Kyler's there for a reason. He's a star for a reason. He's the number one pick for a reason. They need him back. They need Hopkins back. They need him back quickly because they're 8-2 right now. If they miss even some more games, they can, say look at 8-4, and that division's tough. 1 or 2 losses, and you're going right back down to third place or even last in the division too.
Yeah.
So they need them both back. That's clearly, it shows right there that like Hopkins and Murray are the best duo, one of the better players in their positions. You desperately need them back.
Yeah. And I was one of the people like last year that was like, you guys can't sleep on the Cardinals. They're a good team. Whatever that's thrown at them, they're good. And they came in this year and they went on that streak of almost an undefeated season until they got to that Packers game, which if AJ Green had just turned around in the end zone, they would have won that game. But nonetheless, I would agree with you that, Kyler Murray is just phenomenal. And I've heard his name within the MVP race, and I know we haven't seen him in the past 2 weeks, but Kyler's really just showing everybody up. Him, DeAndre's there, he's loving it, and it's crazy. Everybody has just been like, oh, he's too small. No, he's not that good, but the kid is incredible. Like, I love watching the Cardinals play.
Yeah, I don't know why people are still on that, like, oh, he's too short or whatever. People are still saying, oh, he's too small, he's too whatever. Look at Wilson, look at Drew Brees. They were shorter quarterbacks, and they've had pretty good. Brees had a really good career, I will say, and then Wilson's having a pretty good career still too. So I don't know. I don't get people bashing with the height or whatever. Like, you don't need the 6'6" pocket passer, cement-like quarterback anymore. No offense, but like, you need like those smaller mobile quarterbacks that can have it, because Kyler Murray has an arm, and when you have a guy like Hopkins who can catch really anything, it helps you out. So I don't get the whole Kyler bashing thing too. I never understood that.
Yeah. So do you think when Kyler and DeAndre, everybody comes back? I don't think JJ's back this year. I think he's done.
No, I think he's out for the year. I believe he's out for the year.
Yeah. Like, do you think that the Cardinals are going to make a solid? I would assume they're going to the playoffs. Do you think they're going to make a solid playoff run, or do you think they're going to win the division? Like, what do you think the future is for the Cardinals this year?
I definitely think they'll make the playoffs. I think when you're looking at division, they probably, they're one ahead of the Rams, and the Rams just got Miller and OBJ, so we'll see what happens after the Monday night game or whatever, even like next couple of weeks. But I definitely think they'll make the playoffs. If you got to keep the health on Murray and Hopkins, they can make somewhat of a run. As far as like a deep playoff run, not too sure about that, because you need to have a second option next to Hopkins, I think. And James Conner hasn't been that bad of running back, but I still think he's also can be injury prone. Also, the offensive line is a little bit questionable at times, and defense has been solid, but they have a few pieces here that are missing. Like, I think like some missing parts. They got even the middle part, like the middle linebacker. I know Baker's on a bad safety, maybe some help out in the secondary. They can potentially make somewhat of a run, but it kind of depends on like if Hopkins and Murray are healthy and also play well too.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because you without Kyler there, without DeAndre there, it's just like they were good, and then it's like, no, they're not that good, and now it's like, I think once they all come back together, they're going to be like this team that a lot of people are going to be afraid of once everyone gets healthy again. I don't even know if JJ is going to be done like forever. He's gone through so many.
Oh, you mean playing wise? Oh, you mean career-wise? Yeah.
Career-wise.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think for the year, I think he's out for the year. Career-wise, I don't know. I think I always had a thing with JJ Watt. I always found it funny because I feel like he just loves the camera so much. He loves him some JJ Watt. So I feel like he's going to keep playing until literally he's like, Doc, like, you cannot play anymore. I guess because I just, from that video of Hard Knocks of him working out like under the lights, I always made fun of him for it or whatever. Like, it's funny to me. I think he's going to keep playing until like doctors are like, you literally cannot play anymore.
Right.
So I don't think he's done, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe, I don't know, but that would definitely suck for them though. I mean, he is, even though he just joined there too, he's one of the better defenders, one of the popular players. So
I love JJ Watt. I love all the Watt brothers. I think that they're all great, but I was like, wow, like, he literally just got there and he's already injured again. It's just like, it really sucks. Yeah. But in terms of that division, you said they're one ahead of the Rams. The Rams play tonight. We're recording this on Monday, so What are your thoughts on Odell? I mean, I think it's very suspicious, and we talked about this in our review and preview group chat.
I know. I was like,
The Robert Woods injury with Odell, now he's in. All of a sudden, their wide receiver. Well, I don't know. Is Cooper Kupp their wide receiver one, or is it Woods? Either way,
I think it was Kupp. Kupp leads the league, and I'm not going to say that's because he's number one because he's the yard. But I'm pretty sure he was their number one target. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but like the fact that he just conveniently tore his ACL right after Odell joined the team. I don't know. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but I think that's very suspicious.
And it sucks because I mean, I can't say I'm saying it not because he's on my fantasy team, but I've always liked Robert Woods. I've always thought he was a consistent receiver. Like, not really appreciated much. Like one of the top receivers. I'm like, he's not a bad receiver. Like, he never got the appreciation. It sucks for him. Like, it could have helped out, take some targets away from. or take some away from him, so we were able to cover Odell. Thought it would help him out a little bit, and I'm like, it's a little strange. Tears ACL. And it was weird because it wasn't even like he was in pain or whatever. Apparently, he did the media stuff after, talked to people, did his media stuff, did walks at the end, and it's like, oh yeah, he tore his ACL. I never tore my ACL, thank God, but I've seen people tear and I've heard it. People can't even walk after. So how are you going to tell me you did the media stuff, answered a bunch of questions, and you're standing there on the podium, standing whatever, your knee wasn't bothering, you're doing walkthroughs, nothing bothered you whatsoever, and now your ACL is torn? I don't know. It seems a little fishy. I'm
a little suspicious.
Conspiracy. I'm just saying, a little suspicious. Also mad because Woods is on 3 of my team, so that's just me. That's also what it is still.
I also had Woods, and the second that Odell went to the Rams, I noticed in my league nobody had picked him up, and I needed to drop somebody anyway. So I was like, I'll just put Odell on my bench. If he goes off, maybe I'll put him in. Right after I did that, all of a sudden I get the news that Woods tore his ACL, and I was like, I am just hang on just a second. This seems way too weird. A crowded wide receiver core, and one just happens to go out when the other one comes in, who has caused a whole lot of noise about not getting enough touches. I don't know. It's very suspicious, but we'll never know what happens, I guess.
Maybe in a couple years we will. Maybe in a couple. We'll find out in a couple years, maybe.
Maybe they'll make a NFL Films movie or something, or a documentary about it. But another team within this division that had just a horrible game yesterday was the Seahawks. I literally did not even know what to do with this game, except for the fact that the Seahawks have never been shut out with Russell Wilson as their quarterback before. Packers shut them out. It was 17-0. I'm just Aaron Rodgers came back from this whole COVID debacle from last week, and Russell's back from his pin getting taken out of his finger. I don't even know what to say about this game. It was just horrible.
Yeah, when I was heading back from the games, I drove back. I come home and I checked the score. I'm like, 17-0. Is the game still going on? Is this a half, mess up in the first half, whatever? And I'm like, this is the full game. It was one of those weird games. You expect Wilson versus Rodgers, air raid, and both their defenses are a little bit questionable outside of a few players here and then. You thought, all right, high scoring offense, maybe a little fun back and forth. But no, 17-0. I guess that hand is really starting to, with Wilson, and probably maybe came back a little too quickly. I have no idea. And even Rodgers, Rodgers looked okay too. Not Rodgers that we know now, but it was overall just a very sloppy game. Was the 2 touchdowns were only from, I'm looking at AJ Dillon too with the 2 touchdowns. It was just 2 rushing touchdowns. It wasn't even I'm glad I didn't get to watch it live because I feel that would have been a little bit what a bad game to watch. But yeah, very odd game.
I was expecting it like a gun show here. I was expecting it to go back and forth. Both of these guys coming off of COVID and injuries, coming back into their game. Yeah. Yes, it was snowing, but that's not something that's really too different in Green Bay. I don't know. It was a very
games in the snow too. So I don't know that whole thing. So
very strange.
The rushing. You would think with the rushing then, but they didn't even have Seattle didn't even have that. Didn't even run the ball well too.
No, not at all. And
it did not look good.
And on the Packers side, Aaron Jones went out. I think he sprained his MCL or something like that. I think he's only out for 1 or 2 weeks, but he was out of the game for half of it. And it was just like
I have Jones and Henry in one league. In one of my teams, I kept Jones from last year. I'm like, all right, well, Henry's gone. Damn it. All right, fine. I have Jones though. And then of course, so I'm like, you know what? And this is also in the span that I have Woods too. So like my fantasy thing has been not been doing well these past like 2 weeks. So I don't know.
Oh my God. It's like a graveyard in there. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Jones is only going to be out for like 1 to 2 weeks. So you don't have to dump him right away if you don't want to.
I'll put him on the IR slot for now. And I kept Derrick Henry in there just in case. I'm like, you know what? I know he's out for the year, but you know what? Maybe he's a freak of nature. He'll come back for my playoff run. Maybe I just keep him in there just in case. I'm like, you know what? I just don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. I keep hope. You got to keep a little bit of hope.
I know. I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, wow, like Derrick Henry like isn't human anyway, so maybe he'll be back within like the next couple of weeks, but haven't heard anything yet. So that's still out. And the other game last night's Sunday night game, to be honest, I turned it off by the end of it. I was pretty bored. And I mean, I don't know if the Chiefs are actually back or not, but this looked like the Chiefs team that we were expecting this entire time, and they just haven't been giving us. But I mean, 40 something points. I feel like this is the normal Patrick Mahomes, the normal Travis Kelce. But I mean, good game for them. I mean, they beat a division team, which is great, and now they're in first place. But you know, what did you think about this Chiefs team and this Raiders team? I mean, they're not looking too hot either.
I'll say with this Raiders, I feel like every year we all do this. After the first 2 weeks, are the Raiders for real and all that stuff, where they just go off for the first 2 weeks. And they go, oh my God, like this might be their year, and then stuff like this happens. And so I just think it's just. They start off like 2-0, they were 3-0, and then now they're just going down to like they're like 5-4 now. And then the Chiefs team, it's the opposite. We thought, oh, dynasty over, runs over, Mahomes overpaid, Tyreek Hill's whatever, Kelsey's not good anymore. And then just like that, I was like, yeah, no, we're just just one bad couple weeks. We're back now. But yeah, that was the game. I guess all Chiefs fans are happy. And I was like, yep, that's right. We told you Mahomes is still the best quarterback, Hill's the best receiver, Kelsey's still the best tight end or whatever. I'm still worried about their running game. I know they have like 20 different running backs in their roster now. I still worry about that. And I still worry about the defense, even though they let up only 14 points. That's against the Raiders, though. Like, how are they going to do against, say even the Ravens or like the Bills or whatever in the playoffs? So they have like, high scoring offense, or even in that's the one worry that you got to have, though, is the running game and the defense.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't see the Chiefs making like this major playoff run like they did last time and making it to the Super Bowl again. I'm just not seeing it after this last couple weeks. It's just, yes, they can still be a good team, but I don't know if they're Super Bowl material anymore. But yeah, again, this game, I really was just like, whatever. I genuinely was like, the Chiefs are going to win. I think there was like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I was just like, I feel like I don't even need to watch this anymore. I don't think the Raiders are going to come out. But they did lose in Vegas, which big loss for the Raiders. So that just wasn't really a good game, I don't think. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is back, and now every Chiefs fan is going to be like, oh who we never doubted you ever. Like, I think we did.
We're going to get for a little bit. Expected. I'm like, here come the Chiefs fans. Here they come. And the tweets, the Instagram posts, we're back. The whole thing. Like, it's whatever.
I'm not on board with that yet. No, I'm not on board with that.
No, but I'm just saying, you're gonna get people saying that stuff. It's just wait and see. We'll just wait and see what.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that was basically an overlay of what happened NFL Week 10. I like to do a little bit of a prediction for NFL Week 11. I asked you to pick 3 games that you were most excited about for next week. So what do you think are going to be some of the best games for next week?
Oh, so I would say the Dolphins and Jets. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. No, I would probably say, imagine if I did start off with that. I would probably say, Cowboys Chiefs. I would say we just talked about the Chiefs too. I kind of want to see how, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott against like the Chiefs defense. I know 2 teams where it's like the Cowboys, they're good 1 week, bad another week. Chiefs, good 1 week, bad another week. I'm like, all right, let me just see like how well they can do against each other too. And I've always had a soft spot for the Cowboys too. Like I figured I root for them from time to time. And, my dad's a Cowboys fan, so I figured I'll root for them a little bit here and there. So I want to see how well they do. I still think it'll be a fun game. Second one, I'd probably go with. I want to see how, depending on the health, obviously, of these teams too. Cardinals and Seahawks. I kind of want to see what's going to happen now. Russell Wilson returning at home now. I don't know what the thing is, the status with Kyler, if he's going to come back or Hopkins. I believe they're going to. I'm not sure yet, but if they do, I kind of want to see it. I want to see how it is. I want to see how Wilson does now at home. Has a lot to prove now, and I would probably. I mean, as weird as it would say, I kind of want to see. Do I want to say it's like Colts and Bills because, I like Jonathan Taylor. I want to see how he does against the Bills' run defense too, and I kind of want to see because like the Colts they have good weeks, they have bad weeks. I want to see how well they do against Buffalo's defense. I want to see how well they do. So those would be my three. I mean, I would say the Ravens Bears, but I know no one wants to hear me talk about the Ravens and Bears the whole time too. So yeah, I would say a lot of odd different games here too. Yeah, so probably Colts, Bills, Cowboys, Chiefs, and Cardinals, Seahawks, I'd say are my three that I definitely want to, I'll keep an eye on them too. Mainly with the Cardinals, Bailey, how the health of those players would be.
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of mine was definitely Chiefs, Cardinals, Seahawks was the one that I was pretty excited for, mostly because of how tight this division is, and every time this division teams meet up, it always seems to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I'll pick my own team. I think Giants Buccaneers is going to be solid just because based off of last year's Giants Buccaneers game, which I think was also a Monday night game. Like it came pretty tight. And the only thing is that I hate going up against Tom Brady after he loses the week before. I can never.
That's the problem.
It's the problem.
I tell everybody this. Everyone says, is Brady done? I tell everybody, don't do it. Do not listen. I'm not questioning Brady anymore. The last time I did it, he won against the Falcons. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to question him. Is the best of luck to the Giants for that one. I'm not going to question it. Just going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to leave it. Just going to leave it.
It's so hard. Like I've learned my whole life that you can never bet against Tom Brady. And I did that this past Super Bowl. Everybody was like, Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. And I was like,
No. I did the same thing.
I gotta go Bucks here because it was just you can't bet against him. It's just nothing good happens from it. But hopefully it'll be a good game and that we don't get absolutely slaughtered by a Brady coming off a loss. Probably Packers Vikings also would probably be pretty solid.
Packers, I was thinking that too.
It's another division game. Packers are kind of like weird right now. Like the Vikings
are also weird too.
Vikings are weird. The Vikings
a lot of weird teams.
They're like not good. I don't think the Vikings are good. I think they pull out a win every once in a while, but I don't think they're a good team.
Is Kirk Cousins just like a good quarterback? Like I have no idea. Like it's just not, I don't even know. Like is he good? Is he bad? Is he just okay?
I don't even know.
Like, no, like it's not like I'm being dead serious. Like I don't. It's like it's the same two questions every year. Are the Raiders for real? And is Kirk Cousins a good quarterback?
Kirk Cousins has one win in prime time. I feel like you can't call him a good quarterback if he's only has one game.
That's two questions I ask every single year. That's right. One win. Is he good? Is he for real?
There you are.
I'm so mad about this. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi, my internet's all good, and all of a sudden the thing just went away, and then I just crashed, went back here. So I'm good. I do apologize for that.
It's okay. It's all good.
All right.
All I heard was you were like, I don't know if the Raiders are good, and I don't know if Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, which
that's all I left. That's really the only thing I had left. That's all I said.
I mean, yeah, that's all you can say. That's all you can say. Yeah, yeah I don't even know if Kirk Cousins is any good. But those are a few teams, a few games for next week that we're excited about. And before we end off the show, I kind of want to have a bit of a debate with you that's not sports related. Okay. But I love having this conversation with people. So we're in November. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And Christmas is kind of in the air. Christmas is basically November 1st. You're talking about Christmas. What are your thoughts and your stances on Christmas beginning November 1st and then Thanksgiving happening in between? And eventually Christmas coming around in December. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned this because I saw the show sheet. I'm like, yes, I need to talk about this too. Because for me, I'm a traditionalist. The second Thanksgiving's over, when it's on like Black Friday now, because that's a holiday, I say let's bring up the tree. Let's get the tree. Let's get the stockings up. Let's get all the ornaments in. Let's get the Christmas shopping in, or you can whatever. But do it all after Thanksgiving because I feel like we're missing out on Thanksgiving. We literally are getting. I saw Christmas stuff in October before Halloween. It's like every year, like it moves back a little bit. I feel like by the time I'm 26 now, when I'm 30, it's going to be probably January 1st. Oh, getting time for Christmas for next year with the deals on this stuff too.
Right.
I'm with you. I mean, I gotta say, like the second Thanksgiving's over at midnight and people are camping on Black Friday, that's when Christmas starts. The only time I'll allow Christmas stuff to go on before Thanksgiving is if you want to do some holiday shopping, which I've done. I've done that before. Where in November, if it's like a special gift, I do order it ahead of time just in case. It comes at times I don't want it to be a little bit hassle. That's the only time that I'll allow it. That you can do Christmas stuff is if you go shopping. That's it. No tree shopping. No tree chopping, no stockings, whatever. None of that. I don't want that. I don't want that right now. All right. You can do it after Thanksgiving. All right. You could do it. You could do it the night of Thanksgiving. Let's have our meal first before we can do all that stuff. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I'm like, you know what? I had to go on a full rant about it because I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it.
I don't appreciate when Christmas comes out in October. I do not like that because I am full in on Halloween. I love Halloween. I love doing everything with Halloween. It's spooky season. Exactly. But when November comes around, I don't mind the things coming out. People like to prep for it. My cousins used to hate me. I used to call Thanksgiving like Christmas intermission, like in between these 2 months. It's just like, this is pre-Christmas. Like this is just us pretty much preparing for Christmas. But I've done my holiday shopping too. I've been, kind of getting ready for everything. But in terms of like decorations and everything, like it's just like, oh my God, how can you just like start putting this stuff out? Or like, there's already people like around my neighborhood have Christmas lights up, and I'm like, oh my God, and I love it. Like I love seeing Christmas lights, and I love Christmas.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know how to feel because I have to eat a lot of food first.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I'm all for Christmas. I love the Christmas decoration. I'm all in for the holiday. I sound like the Grinch right now, but I'm all in the holiday spirit. But I'm also in the Thanksgiving spirit. I like the turkey. I like the stuffing. I like the cranberries. I like watching the Lions and the Cowboys lose. I like watching some games. Well, I don't know. They do. The Cowboys wouldn't mind that, not the Lions. But I watch football, sit on the couch, whatever, hang out, have a good time. I don't want to worry about the Christmas stuff. Do it after. That's just how it is. Maybe I'm an old school, but, maybe I might get some hate for it. I don't know. Maybe your fans will hate me for that take I had, or maybe some of them will love me. I have no idea. We're going to see once the episode is out, if I'm allowed back on here after that.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Ooh, well, I mean, it's got to be the corn. Well, turkey, obviously. Turkey is the main thing for me. Obviously, that's like everything. But if we're going like size, I'd probably go like the cornbread and like cranberries too. I know a lot of people aren't sure about cranberries, but I like them a lot. I like cornbread too. So that's probably be the top two, I would say. Stuffing's like right behind there too.
Yeah, I turkey, I feel like I only have turkey like on Thanksgiving. Like I feel like I never consume turkey at any other time, but it's good. I love it. I love, like, my family makes a ham too, and it's like
ham's also
double the meat. I'm like a big mashed potatoes girl. Like that's my job. Thanksgiving is like making the mashed potatoes, so I always take pride in that, and I think it's the best thing there, but that's just, and I might be biased.
That's fair. Listen, there's no bad Thanksgiving dish or whatever.
That's very true,
in my opinion. So,
except unless it's like Brussels sprouts, or I don't think I ever consume vegetables on Thanksgiving.
I mean, I'll have the occasional carrots and green beans. I'll have that. I mean, we count corn. I'll count that. We'll count cornbread, right? We'll count cornbread. Maybe.
I mean, there's
Brussels sprouts. I don't know. You're right. You might be right. Maybe one or two things that you don't want on Thanksgiving.
No, definitely not. What are your thoughts on pumpkin? I love that whole debate because I love pumpkin, but
I like pumpkin. I mean, so I like pumpkin pie. Don't get me wrong. I'm a good pumpkin pie fan. Big fan of that. That's really basically the only pumpkin flavored thing. I mean, like I know the joke pumpkin spice latte. I've never had one. That's not my thing. Probably the only pumpkin flavor. I'm not your face. I know. I don't know. I don't like that look you just gave. The only pumpkin.
You've never had a pumpkin spice latte?
Never had one. I feel like I should now. I feel like I have to have one. Is it appropriate to have it now?
Do you like coffee?
Oh, yeah, I'm a coffee fanatic. So probably, maybe I would. I
mean, it's delicious.
But I mean, now with the whole Christmas thing happening, I feel like that's not a thing anymore. People now go with like the frosted peppermint type of thing now. It's now the pumpkin spice is no longer. Again, they just wiped out October everything completely now too.
No, you have to try a pumpkin spice.
I will. I promise you, I will try the pumpkin spice latte. And I'll give you my review on it. I will give you a review on the pumpkin spice latte. I'll do that.
Okay. That's good. That's good because it literally is just like the epitome of fall, and it's delicious and wonderful. And I never appreciate when people are like, "Oh, it's so basic." I'm like, "You're basic. It's delicious."
Oh no, I'm not gonna bash you for having saying.
No, not you.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just never, as far as pumpkin stuff, like the only thing I've had with pumpkin pie, and I like it. But I'm open to trying it. I'll try that latte. I'll try it. I'll give you that. I'll give you the review. I got you.
I'm personally a Dunkin' Donuts girl, but I would not be opposed to a Starbucks or wherever it is that you get coffee from, but that's just where I get my stuff from. It's from Dunkin'.
I go Dunkin' because there's one by my house, but I'm not like a diehard like, oh, it's Dunkin' or die or Starbucks or get out. Like I don't do that. It's honestly, I literally where I can get coffee. That's all. That's fair. It. If I'm on the road or whatever, it's wherever I can get it. I don't have a fandom. I don't have an affiliation to any kind of coffee place.
I'll get my coffee from delis and whatnot around, but I always end up at Dunkin' Donuts. They never make it the same ever. It's always different. It's like a surprise every time you go to Dunkin' Donuts. I go to 7-Eleven to make coffee. I do that. I don't have an affiliation. Listen, I like coffee, but I'm not the coffee person who gives you an expertise on where to go. I just go wherever I can to get the coffee, order it, or I make it myself, and that's it. And that's on having a caffeine addiction. I feel that
too. But that's we don't want to talk about that.
We don't have to get into that.
No, let's get with that. We'll go with that.
Well, Fonz, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. Before we go, why don't you let everyone know where they can find all of your podcasts and everything like that?
So I have my own podcast, the SlickBack KickBack Report. It's a sports podcast, talk about wrestling, gaming. It's really what it is. We kick back, we chill, we hang out. So I'm definitely going to get you on for a future episode. You can get on wherever you get your podcasts, and Apple, Spotify, Google, any podcast app, you'll find it. It's also on my YouTube channel, Fonz De Falco. You'll see the episodes on there for the video version, for some clips and also some other YouTube videos I've done. Recently, I graded the NBA City jersey, so that's on there if you want to check that out. I'm a big jersey person, as you can see. I got 2 more up there also. And for review and preview, which Sam does some stuff over there too, I have a wrestling show, 4 Corners, every Monday at 7 p.m. on Review and Preview's Facebook and YouTube page. We just talk about the world of pro wrestling. Me, Mike DeSanto, and Albert Donor, just 3 fans talking about pro wrestling. So you have 4 Corners on Review and Preview and the SlickBack KickBack Report, where we get your podcast on YouTube. That's where you'll find me. Awesome. Perfect. And as many of you guys know, you can find me on all podcasting platforms and on YouTube at The Girl Who Talks Sports. You can follow me on Twitter at TGWTS Podcast, and you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at The Girl Who Talks Sports. I hope you all have a fun, fantastic, sports-filled day, and we will be back next week to talk NFL Week 11. Fonz, thank you so much again for coming on. Not a problem, Sam. Thanks for having me. All right, bye, everybody.